welcome to the Famous American Talk Show. It's so good to see all of you again today. Are you out there? Yeah. Give me a round of applause. Come on, I have a special guest today. And boys and girls, I'm so excited. Turn the music on. I'm so excited that she's here. And our special guest today is Helen Keller. So, wait a minute, before she comes in, I want you to be mindful, okay? That even though we're clapping when she comes in, she really can't hear us. But that's okay. She can feel the vibration of your hands, okay? Because she uses her other senses. So we are going to clap. And she might not be able to see all your beautiful faces. That's okay. So we're going to enjoy this moment. So right now, boys and girls, let's give a round of applause for our special guest, Miss Helen Keller. Let's give her a round of applause. Feel that vibration of your hands clap. All right. Welcome, welcome. All right. I'm so happy that you're here, and it's so good to see you.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you. And I wanted to say thank you so much for the questions because it helped me to prepare with my Braille so I can follow along while you ask me the questions so I can help answer them as best I can.
Okay. Now, Helen was born in Alabama, and her parents were Captain Arthur H. Keller and Catherine Adams Keller. So tell us a little bit about your life when you were young.
So when I was 1 year old, I became very sick and I had a really high fever. And when I got really sick, I became blind and deaf. So I could not hear and I could not see. And this changed my life forever. I was living in a dark and silent world. Can you imagine not being able to see or hear?
Wow. Now help us understand this world of darkness and silence.
So like most children, I wanted to run and play and have fun. I couldn't hear others speak, so I couldn't talk. I couldn't see things around me. Often I would get hurt and this made me angry. I became very, very frustrated because I couldn't do the things that other kids could do.
Oh, I know you guys can understand sometimes we all get frustrated, right? Okay. Now, that had to be difficult for you. Now tell me, how were you able to overcome this major life change?
My parents tried to help me the best way they knew how because they were so loving, but everything they tried didn't help. Then one day, a wonderful woman named Anne Sullivan who came into my life, and she was a teacher who I loved and was very dear to me.
Now, I understand Anne Sullivan was a special teacher who was hired by your parents to help you communicate. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how did Anne Sullivan help you?
Anne Sullivan found a way to help me communicate. She taught me a very special alphabet, and she would use her fingers to spell words on my hands that I didn't quite understand.
Okay. Now, this is known as sign language, okay? And I think I know a little bit of sign language, so I'm going to see if I can remember some things. So give me a moment, Helen. I'm going to try to sign to my audience. So we're going to do a I love you. So I'm going to teach you something real quick so everybody can say, let me make sure I get this right. It's I love you. Okay, so you guys just did signing, okay? Now, sign language. Tell us about the time you were at the water pump.
So after many days of me being frustrated and very angry, there came a day where we were at the water pump and Miss Sullivan and I were there And she put my hand underneath the water, and she spelled the word water on my hand. WATER. She did that over and over and over again. She put my hand in the water, and then she'd spell it again. And then at last, I finally got it.
Wow. So am I correct in saying that this was the day that you discovered life, hope, and joy?
Oh, yes. I will never forget that day. I learned so many words after that day.
Now, Miss Sullivan also taught you to read by filling a series of raised dots on a page.
Yes, this is called Braille, and I brought Braille today to show you the questions that you gave me. I was able to put them in Braille so I could practice before I came. And I was able to learn using Braille, and these raised dots represented letters, and learning Braille has helped me to become a reader.
Now, audience members, I do have a couple of cards with Braille on it. And so my helpers, my offstage helpers, will come along and pass one to each row or group. And you can kind of feel that as we continue our interview, okay? So I want you to get an opportunity to feel those raised dots that are on the card. And again, this is called Braille, okay? Now, when you were 10, so boys and girls, you can still pay attention and it'll come to you. When you were 10, you wanted to learn how to speak because you could not always speak clearly. Now, can you tell us about some of your accomplishments as you grew older?
Yes, I was able to attend the Perkins School for the Blind and then Radcliffe College. And I even wrote an autobiography about my life.
Wow, you were a pioneer of your time. You were the first blind deaf person to begin groups to help support people with a physical disability. It took courage to overcome your disability and lead a life full of so many accomplishments. Boys and girls, can I get your attention? Did you know that Miss Keller won many special awards? She even received a Medal of Freedom from President Lyndon Johnson. Let's give her a hand. All right.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I love learning, and I wanted to bring hope to millions of people with disabilities around the world.
So before we leave today, what message would you like to share about your life?
Having a disability does not mean you are useless or have to live frustrated or angry forever. You can work to overcome your challenges and be successful in your own way with your own goals. I hope I proved that everyone's life has value. My life's work was dedicated to supporting equal rights and opportunities for people with disabilities.
Helen Keller, we're so glad that you were a part of our world and made such a difference for us. And we really want to thank you for coming in. Do you mind if some of the audience members ask you a few questions?
Oh, sure.
And so I guess since you don't know the questions ahead of time, your helper can help sign in your hand. Okay, so boys and girls, we're going to ask Helen some questions. And my first question, how about the gentleman way over in the back in that corner right there? What question would you like to ask?
What is it like to be deaf and blind?
So he asked, what is it like to be deaf and blind?
So I've lived my life without these two senses, which is really tricky because so many things in the world have to do with these two senses. And not being able to see, so it's very dark, and not being able to hear, but to feel. I have to use my other senses a lot to help me to really feel and understand what's going on in the world around me. And having people that can help me along the way are also very helpful.
All right, thank you. Okay, before we move on, if you have one of the Braille cards, I'm just going to ask you to place it in front of you for right now. Okay, just put that down in front of you, and I'm looking for This young lady that has the word brave and kind, what question do you have for us today?
What kind of things can if someone's trying to tell you something and someone's not there to help you do and you're all alone, what do you do to communicate?
Okay, so I'm thinking am I correct in saying when you're alone and you don't have anyone else, what do you do to try to communicate, or how are you able to communicate?
I just try to be really honest and let people know that I have these disabilities so that they can be understanding. And I often try not to leave without anyone there to help me. But if I am ever in the instance where that does happen, I am very open and honest and let them know if I can't hear or see what they're saying or doing.
Okay, so most of the time, she's probably not going to be alone. But that's an excellent question. Okay, how about the gentleman right there with the blue on? Looks like he's ready to.
Is it hard to be blind and deaf?
It is. It's a challenge, and I'm so used to it because the only thing I've ever known was being blind and deaf. So I have a lot of really great ways to overcome those challenges. So it's hard in the sense that I don't get to hear and see the beautiful things that you all hear and see, but I have other ways of hearing and seeing.
Okay, how about the young lady with the pink jacket on there?
When did you get sick?
I was very, very young. I was a baby. So I don't even really remember when I was able to hear and see because I was so young.
Okay, so when she was younger. What about this lady here?
How can you open your eyes now?
So even though I don't have the ability to see, I can still open my eyes. So even others in the world who you might see in this day and age who are unable to see, they can still open their eyes. They just don't have the ability to see out of their eyes.
Okay. Right here?
When you were 7 years old, how was it hard to brush your hair or use the bathroom or a shower?
It was challenging. That time in my life, I was very frustrated and very angry because I couldn't show my parents what I needed. And even when they tried to help me, I was way too mad to even understand their help. So it was very hard.
Okay, the gentleman in the gray and black jacket back there has been waiting patiently.
What day was it when the fever stopped?
She probably doesn't remember that because once again, she was so young. So I'm pretty sure it's been so long. It was a long time ago. So,
My parents didn't talk about it much, so they wouldn't really know the date.
okay. The lady back in the corner over here.
Was it easy?
Is it easy being blind and deaf?
I feel like now with all the people that helped me, they helped me to be able to live my life easier than I thought that I probably could when I first became blind and deaf. But every day is a new challenge, but I can take it on, and all of my new strategies to help me to really live my life.
Okay, and the gentleman with the green pants on?
So when you were blind, why was it dark?
So being blind means that no light really passes through my eyes, so I can't see anything out of it. So that means that everything is always just dark. I don't have the blurred vision. I have no light passing through, so I can't see anything.
Okay. All right, one more. Let's see. Woo, we have so many questions. How about the young lady back in the back corner back there?
Well, was it hard to type when you were blind?
It's tricky to type, but now they have keyboards that have Braille on it, and the more practice that I've had with it, I was able to do that. I also had someone who also helped me with typing, so maybe I would tell my story and they would type my story for me, so I had options.
Okay. All right, boys and girls, let's give Helen Keller another. Helen's gonna leave off the stage, so we're gonna stay seated while she's walking because we wanna make sure she leaves safely.
Thank you. Thank you.